Alright everyone, in Vermont there's an old saying, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. Well, with Hillary Clinton it's getting similar. It's, if you don't think that what she's just said was too crazy, just wait for a day or two, and she'll say something that's 10 times crazier. We've got to give up trying to even judge that every successively crazier thing that this demented woman says is the most demented it can be, because she keeps one-upping herself, so what's the point? We got to talk about what she said regarding Trump in the context of discussing Harvey Weinstein. Now, of course, Weinstein, big Holly weird dude, donated untold amounts of money to various Democrats because he was he was a liberal. He was on the Stern show and saying, oh, well, the NRA is the devil, I'm going to go after them, and we're really going to get him this time. I think this was years ago, you know, back before he was a known total pervert. Oh, I hate guns, people shouldn't have guns. Now, I think, of course, in the context, I'm assuming he's not being benevolent and saying, well, you know, we need to save the children. No, I think it's more along the lines of Harvey doesn't want people to defend themselves adequately when he does what Harvey Weinstein allegedly does on a regular basis. But to hear Hillary Clinton say about Trump, oh, we've got a confessed sexual assaulter in the White House, we need to keep that in mind. How ironic can that possibly be? Because we've got a tape of you joking, laughing about your defense of a child rapist back when you were a lawyer. I've had multiple Democratic partisans try to deflect this and say, yeah, she was laughing at the fact that it was ridiculous. But the thing is, don't you think it's a little bit odd to get any laughter out? It's not exactly grave humor that she's cracking. She's laughing about the fact that she had to defend someone who was human scum, and she knew they were scum. Nobody's, by the way, saying that you shouldn't have the right to a fair trial to be represented, even if you are a scumbag. But to then laugh about it afterwards, I think shows a poor character on Miss Clinton's part. She systematically destroyed the lives of anyone who ever made claims against her husband. If you look at Huma Abedin, her apparent closest confidant in the fucking world, what's her husband been up to? On multiple occasions, no less. Isn't he in prison now? I think for the one sexting incident, he had also had like at least one affair, I think, or maybe two. Who knows? Maybe it was 10. How are we supposed to friggin' know? And she's hanging out. Of course, look at who her husband is. I choose not to generally judge people by the company they keep, and like when you're in a marriage, it's like, you know, the fallout from divorcing him, for getting a quickie from Lewinsky on the side wouldn't have been sane, it wouldn't have been sensible. Okay, everyone knew Bill was a philanderer anyway. But it appears to have gone beyond consensual philandering, you know, just having an adulterous relationship with Monica and certain others during his time as a governor. The claim is that there were a significant enough number of incidents where it was not consensual, and it's more like a Bill Cosby or a Weinstein case. So to hear Hillary Clinton, who hangs out with all these people, is married to someone who's at least a serial philanderer, and who, according to Colin Powell himself, is, in Colin Powell's own words, still dicking bimbos. That's from Colin Powell. Think of who this is fucking coming from. She's married to him. Her confidant's husband acts even worse, because in that case, we know, of course, it was a too young to consent situation, as opposed to, you know, Bill, you know, some 20-something sports model. Okay, well, yeah, it's kind of weird. The president's, you know, putting our lives at risk, potentially. You know, is it going to be like a Marilyn Monroe situation where maybe some state secret was uttered during orgasm? Who knows? Then hanging out with Weinstein, because Clinton did, taking a lot of money. Now, she says she's going to donate that to charity, but I mean, come on. At some point, people are going to notice a little bit of a pattern here, at least with regards to DC and Hollywood as a whole, if not to the DNC necessarily itself and the ranks of just the liberals. Of course, there have been plenty of Republicans that have been embroiled in sexual scandals, too. Some of them are perverts. Like, what was it, the name of that one dude who was, he claimed that he had, that when he sat down, he had a wide spread to him. Like, he was doing some foot tappy thing, like in one of the stalls, and it was like a cop, but he was trying to solicit, like, gay prostitution or something. And then he said, no, that's just the way that I sit, because, you know, my balls and dick are so huge, you know, I have to open my legs up really wide, which, of course, is a pile of nonsense. So this happens in the GOP, too. Don't let him fool you. You have someone, I wonder what Rick Santorum or Michelle Bachmann gets up to in their private lives, or even like a Mike Pence, somebody like that. A lot of times those that pretend to be real spiffy, like, oh, you know, I'm just 100% all Americana, perfect wife, perfect family, look at how perfect we all are, we got pictures of ourselves everywhere. Sometimes that's a projection. So you got to be wary. Whereas Trump, somebody who just says random off-the-wall shit, I would actually be less worried because at least we know he's not projecting. It's not. He might be projecting an image of himself as chaotic and insane. Maybe he's like totally normal most of the time. For Hillary Clinton, though, to talk about sexual assault as though it was something that bothered her. My goodness, after you work to character assassinate all the women that Bill was ever with, you know, as part of your general political strategy, or the child rapist you defended when you were a lawyer. I think that would have been like the dawn of the 80s, if I remember correctly, or a little bit before, maybe the late 70s or something. It's been a while since Hillary Clinton was allowed to do such things. Wasn't she kicked off Watergate or something when she was a legal intern for being totally unethical or some crazy shit like that? Off Watergate? I'm pretty sure that's actually true. Could just be a tall tale. Haven't bothered to look into it so much because there are so many scandals, it's like you'd have to dedicate a whole life to seeing them all. But as far as like sexual scandals, the sort of weird side of sexuality as applied to DC, the Clintons are pretty high up there. She's in no position to be complaining about supposedly an accused or confessed sexual assaulter being in the White House. Because he never did that. If you listen to the Billy Bush tape, he's referring to consensual activities, saying, well, yeah, these women don't care if I touch them in a sexual manner extramaritally because, you know, I'm rich and powerful. Well, that's sort of like a Hugh Hefner deal. Yeah, it might be kind of crude. It's certainly boorish, but it's not illegal. No, not unless one of them says, okay, Donald, stop, and Donald keeps going. As far as we know, there's never been a litigated case in which that's actually gone forth because there's never been any evidence of any real criminal wrongdoing. We all know that Donald Trump loves the female side of things. He enjoys his exotic women. He's sort of like a Bubba Bill in that sense. But there are several things that we don't know. We don't know that he's actually taken it to a criminal next step, which is good. Hopefully he hasn't. There appears to be no evidence that he's into anybody who is illegally aged. That's a good thing. That's more than we can say for, you know, for Huma Abedin's husband, for Anthony Weiner, one step removed from Hillary Clinton herself. Or Epstein, one of Bill Clinton's good friends. It's more than we can say for him. Let's hope that the Don never visited Epstein's private island. I don't think his name was among the guest registry, but I think Bubba Bill, wasn't he on there 5 times? Well, that's a little bit mysterious, because there was really only one thing that Epstein was ever getting up to. At least that's the allegation generally made. Then we talk about Podesta and some of his stuff, and it gets even creepier to the point at which it's like, what the fuck kind of abyss are we staring into? We're just going to avert our gaze, at least half-heartedly, because it's so fucked up. That's about all. Peace out.